Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Adair Live. We'll be hosting these every week featuring industry experts to help you better understand the ins and outs of building your dream home on your land. My name is Carrie Montoya. I am the marketing manager here at Adair, and today my co-host is Lee Fox. Lee has been with Adair over 5 years. She's currently the manager of our online sales team. How's it going today, Lee?
It's going great. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you on our Facebook Live. I'm so excited. Love talking about it there.
Of course. I heard you just got back from camping. How was the weather over in Central Oregon?
I did. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I took my family on a really great camping trip. We did Billy Chinook. Folks, if you ever get an opportunity, please go over there, visit. It's stunning. I know we have some customers that live there and have built over there, so I can't help but admire their views and the mountains and just rolling hills. So it was great. It was a great trip.
Absolutely. I bet the water was a little cold though this time of year.
Well, water was still a little chilly, just on the touch of not quite refreshing, and ooh, I can't feel my toes. So, but as long as you have great weather and you can dip in to cool off, that's all you need.
Absolutely. Well, welcome back from a well-deserved vacation.
Thank you.
And today we are going to be talking about finding land to build your dream home on. We'll be monitoring the chat. So let us know where you're watching from. Tell us where you're building or thinking about building, what stage of the process you're in. Wherever you are in the process, we want to hear from you. We will also be answering any questions about the land shopping process. So go ahead and put those in the chat and we will get rolling. So Lee, last week we had our sales director, Jay Sowers, on as a guest, and he mentioned that you don't have to have land to begin working with a builder, but for our customers, when in the process should they begin looking for land?
Yeah, that's a great question. And as we know, when it comes to on your land building, that is the biggest piece of the puzzle. So it's a little different for everybody. So, Carrie, if you'll indulge me for just a second when it comes to that. So, when it comes to when you should be looking for your land, two options really come into play. I'm sure if you're already considering about building your own home, you have been just taking peeks here and there as you're driving home, probably noticing other builds and properties. So, ideally, I would say find out what your budget needs to be. If you have an idea or pre-approval of where you need to be budget-wise, then what we can do is help you determine what needs to be allocated for your land purchase. Or another option is, if this is still something that you're exploring, we can sit down with you and help you determine what a budget would need to look like. So again, if we have that pre-approval, or you have an idea of where you need to be budget-wise, however you came to that number, we will sit down with you and we'll start breaking down some of the things that you need to consider. So let's take the home plan that seems to work best for you. Let's talk about what we typically see in upgrades and modifications. Let's talk about where we typically see customers coming in at permit costs and their site development in general. Even starting from that angle will allow us to give you an idea then what you would have left over for land purchase. And on the backside of that, if you find some property that has caught your eye, we'll sit down with you and work off of that piece of property and help you determine what a budget would need to look like. So there's two different ways to go about it. You, like Jay said, you do not need to already own land to be working with Adair Homes. In fact, we can help you immensely when it comes to that.
Absolutely. So is there any way that Adair specifically assists with the customer for the shopping process?
Sure. So while Adair doesn't buy or sell land, how we're going to assist you is when you come and you sit down with a local team member in one of our build branches for a consultation. Again, we'll help you kind of navigate this whole process. but in turn, we will have realtor recommendations that we can help pair you with. So these are going to be realtors that our team has worked with in the past. They don't work for Adair, but they've sent other customers to us. They've worked with us. So what's kind of great about that is they're already going to know the process with Adair. They're going to be familiar with what to be looking for. And we'll also have a lot of additional resources, not only with just realtors, but oftentimes we've been in business for, I think, what are we going on, Carrie, 53 years in the Pacific Northwest alone. So another resource that will happen often in our branches is maybe a landowner or somebody who owns land and has decided not to move forward with it for whatever reason, just not working, and they want to move, or maybe they are going to subdivide out farmland or some family property. It isn't uncommon for landowners to stop into one of our branches and share that information with us too, again, knowing what we do. Also, realtors that have land listings will pair with the Adair homes, because sometimes it's really challenging for a customer to see or visualize what could go on a vacant piece of property or a lot. So oftentimes our branches will already be working with a couple of realtors that have land listings too. So that's how we're going to support customers in their land search.
Awesome. And as a note, we do also list realtors' land on our
Yes,
website.
thank you.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's another great resource for our customers to just begin looking. Are there any other avenues or resources that you would recommend for our listeners to help them in their search for land?
Absolutely. So typically what I recommend, if somebody just wants to do their search on their own, maybe you're still really on the preliminary stages of this and still just kind of allowing this idea to soak in, I would recommend sites like realtor.com or redfin.com. Those are my favorite, and I'll tell you why. They're going to have the most accurate information. So they're going to pull from your local MLS software, and they're going to update every 15 minutes. So if there's an offer pending, or better yet, a price reduction or something sold, that's going to be updated faster than some of the other websites. Also notice that they have a ton more information. Again, because this is realtors putting in that information. So those would be the two sites that we really recommend. Some other avenues could be, what about that lot that you drive past? So I have one, and that's why I'm reacting to it. So I drive past this property often, and I've now had this discussion where I wonder who owns that property. I wonder if I could find out who owns it. I could reach out to them. So that's always an option as well. You can use your county website to see who owns it. You can always reach out. Again, a realtor is a great resource if you're working with somebody to help you in that. And then what about sites that have an existing structure? So I know this is crazy, so bear with me on this, but maybe a listing that has a manufactured home, or maybe a smaller dwelling that you know is going to need work, maybe doesn't fit what you need right away. So there's going to be an investment in that. So the value's in the land. And one of the great things about that is with the existing structure, a lot of that legwork is already done for you. So it's a little bit more on the upfront, but again, another option to consider to remove that and then build on that property.
Yeah, if you can find a piece of property with an existing structure, then you're already ahead of the game, and you're
Absolutely.
probably going to save a lot of money in site development costs with all those utilities more than likely already being connected on that site.
Yeah,
So,
and the time frame too. So the time you're cutting that time, if you're buying vacant land and having all that work done, well, it's already on there. So again, if you find some property with an existing structure, that's something that our team can help you navigate as well. What would need to be done for those? So yeah.
yeah, you've pretty much won the land hunt lottery if you find one of those.
Absolutely.
So, when shopping for land, is there anything specific that our listeners should be either looking for or trying to avoid?
So I think some of the items to really consider when you're shopping for land is so first and foremost, what is your time frame for being on this property? Is this going to be your last home, or is this your forever home? Is this going to be till kids, or till you're an empty nester and then you're going to get that condo on the bay? So kind of consider that what the long term is going to be for that property. So the things to consider is the proximity, obviously, to work and amenities, and if this is going to be your forever home, what's it going to look like later on in life when you're going to want to be close to just shopping and medical facilities and maybe you don't want to be close to those. So again, consider some of those school districts. If you're having children that you're going to be putting into schools, property taxes are huge. So as we know, with everything going on, so always kind of consider those. Zoning. Maybe you're looking at doing an investment property. Adair offers a couple of duplex plans that we can do for you. Zoning is going to be very specific, so you want to do your research on that as well. And then what's the build footprint going to be? So if you're using one of our floor plans, the dimensions are on our website, which is great. But what you also have to consider is what setbacks need to be on that property. So let's say you're looking at maybe more of a city lot, not a huge piece of property. But there's going to be a requirement. So the home has to, just for those who don't know setbacks, our home has to sit so far back from the road, so far in from the sides, and so far from the back as well. So what are you looking to have? Do you want a big backyard? Is that just not your jam? And maybe just a quaint little patio is what you're looking for, but you really want that location. So those are some of the things that I would say to consider. Adair doesn't necessarily have requirements on the land. We are fortunate enough that we can make modifications to any of our floor plans and even work with you on a full custom plan, especially to fit your lot situations. So I would say there's a ton of things to avoid. It's just really about making sure that you're doing your due diligence when it comes to that property. And again, if you find something that's caught your eye, you can always sit down with a team member, and that's part of the discussion. What are some of the things to help you consider in that? You're not going to be left to your own devices to figure it out. We're going to help guide you in a lot of that, which is really great.
Absolutely. I think that's a great framework for helping our customers identify their ideal location.
Yeah.
So, when should you submit an offer on land?
Yeah, I know time is of the essence. And so here's what we can recommend. If it's something that's been sitting there for a while and you've got a little bit of time, again, let us get you scheduled for a complimentary consultation. We always start with a free, no obligation meeting to sit down and talk about it. So if the conversation is, hey, we found this property off of River Road and we're looking at doing your Taylor plan, that's how we can help you, kind of navigate that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot the question, Carrie. It's close to lunch.
I feel that. I feel that. So
Oh,
it's when it's appropriate to go
thank
ahead and
you.
submit
Sorry.
that offer. Yeah.
However, if time is of the essence, go ahead and make an offer. We would ask that you do a due diligence or feasibility on your real estate contract. 30 days at the very least. If you could do a little bit more, that would be great. And so then you can come in and say, hey, I have an offer accepted on this property. Can you help me navigate it? One of the cool things about Adair, and I know that there's not a lot of builders that will do this, but once we sit down with you and we kind of pencil out budget and timeline and the home plan that seems to work for you, if all that works, we'll do a complimentary on-site visit. So we'll have a superintendent of construction come out to your property, walk it with you. So, and this would all be done during your feasibility on that contract. So any other additional resources that you may need to have come out to that property, we may have some of those for you as well. But the idea is to put an extra set of professional eyes on that lot for you. Where do you want the home situated? Is there anything we should look out for? So again, what's great is Adair is going to support you every step of the way when it comes to those things. So
Absolutely. An expert for everything.
that's right.
So, if our listeners do have any additional questions on the process for finding land, what's the next step that you recommend they take?
Yes, this is my favorite. This is where I come into play. So please feel free to hop over at our website or give us a call. Our team of online home consultants are waiting for you. We also have live chat. So what's really great is, you can reach out to us and we can answer some more general questions for you. But really the best part is to sit down with a home ownership counselor in one of our Bill branches, and we'll schedule that for you so we can make sure that somebody's available to talk to you, sit down and give you the time that you need. And really, the benefit of doing the consultation is it's going to save you time. You're going to sit down, you're going to have a conversation about what you're looking to do, what your specifics are, and walk out of that door with some guidelines, some ideas, some suggestions, and helping you decide how you want to move forward. So please reach out to us if you have any additional questions. Let my team get you scheduled for a consultation to sit down and, like I said, just really have that deep dive conversation. So you can rule this in or rule it out too. It's not going to hurt our feelings if it isn't going to work this time around. We're going to be here for you, but sitting down and having that conversation is really just going to save you a ton of time.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've answered all the questions for today. If you do still have questions, feel free to post them in the comments. We can answer them there. Or as Lee mentioned, you can head over to our website, interact with us via live chat, give us a call, or schedule a time to meet and sit down with our pro team. The link for that is www.adairhomes.com/schedule. And thank you again for being here with us, Lee. It's very
Thank
informative.
you. Lunchtime.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.